Hey everyone, Michael from Break a Pencil here. I am coming to you from Boulder, Colorado this week, where I am visiting my daughter at CU Boulder. Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to use AI to decompose a PRD into tickets. And even though teams are going agile, look, we're still documenting features. They're still PRD documents. They're not 50 pages like they used to be in our world of waterfall, but they're still there. And we have to decompose these ultimately into tickets that can then be passed on to engineering to then, ultimately build what it is we're trying to build. So let's do it. What I'm going to do, start with just kind of a basic, very basic, intentionally basic PRD here for a user notification system. Pretty generic, right? We need to add a notification system to keep users informed. Here's some goals. Okay. Requirements. These are account activity, system updates, important deadlines. Notifications should be delivered through multiple channels. User interface, add a notification bell icon to main navigation. System should be scalable and reliable. And some metrics, target launch Q2 26. So these are complete in that they describe a notification feature, but they're incredibly far from complete in that there's a lot of detail missing. So that's by design. And so let's go ahead and take this PRD, and we're going to just simply paste it along with an initial prompt into Claude. We're going to say, please break the PRD pasted below into Jira tickets with acceptance criteria. And we're going to send that. And if you've ever watched any of my other videos or followed along with any of my other tutorials, you'll notice that that's a very, very short prompt. I'm usually quite verbose. And again, I'm trying to point out or illustrate not how AI in this demonstration is great at decomposing PRDs into tickets, which it is, but I'm trying to highlight how AI can be an incredibly good thought partner for you to make sure you don't miss anything. And so it can be a little bit more than just, a writing companion. There we go. All right, so critical issues to address first. So immediately it starts highlighting some things we're missing. We're missing some technical architecture. These are vague requirements. There's not a clear scope. So it is immediately calling some of these out to us. Now, other LLMs may not immediately do this. They may just sort of jump to write what you asked for, which was breaking it into tickets. And so maybe you may have a little bit more dialogue, and we're going to do that. But so we have some what do we have here? Multiple channels as stated, but none are specified. There's no guidance on real time versus batch, an important consideration. Scalable and reliable. What are the actual SLAs? Well, that's great. What's the MVP nice to have? Is this phased? What are some dependencies? Rather than ticket this as is, I'd suggest to clarify if this is phase 1 or the full vision, describe the specific channels, prioritize 1 to 2 notification types, and specify the preference management needed. Okay. Let's do this. Let's see. What do we want to prompt back with now? This is intended to be a full-featured notification system, so not just an MVP. Additionally, in terms of channels, we want to do in-app plus email plus text notification. We definitely need to handle batch as well as real-time. What is it you're asking in terms of the preference management depth needed? Can you elaborate or clarify that question, please? So, gave it some of the answers that it was asking for. The last question I didn't quite understand. Okay. How deep for the managing of the user preferences? Okay, got it. Okay, great. Right. So this is, the devil is always in the details when it comes to feature definition. This is definitely getting into that. I understand now. Thank you for this initial release. We need level 1 and level 2. Okay, good. Let's see how it does. All right. Oh, it needs some additional clarification. Real-time versus batch. In-app always real-time. Email real-time batched. Okay. SMS verification. Notification retention. Gosh, yeah, it's asking for a lot of detail, which is really excellent. Let's actually do in-app mobile notification instead of text. Those should always be in real time. Let's keep in-app notifications for 90 days. And to keep things simple, let's not worry about the user being able to delete or archive notifications. Number 5, default preferences. Your recommendation is good. In-app on, email on, SMS we're striking from this. Additionally, make sure that we are explicit about in-app notifications and any distinction, technically requirements for iOS or Android. All right, so we've got some more detail. Let's see what it does. All right, it's still asking for a little bit more clarification. So what's really interesting here is that, maybe about a year ago, LLMs would immediately try to give you the results you're looking for. We are now 4 prompts in, and I don't have a Jira ticket still. So Claude, in this case, is really trying to make sure that it has a full understanding so that it can give really, really good results. And so it's deferring the successful delivery of what it is I'm asking for to ensure high quality, which is a pretty sophisticated algorithm. All right, in-app versus push. Question number 1, that's a good clarification. We are doing both in-app notification as well as OS level notifications. On email delivery, let's support both real-time and batch. Critical security notifications should absolutely bypass user preferences. That's question 3. What's question 4? We don't need to worry about an admin dashboard at this point for this initial launch. Let's just make sure we're instrumenting all the events for being able to deploy that dashboard shortly after launch. What needs to be tracked would be events sent, user preferences modified, notifications read. We do not have mobile apps with push capability, so this is net new infrastructure. Okay, let's see what it does with this. Okay, so also, it took the liberty of breaking this into at least one epic and then subsequent Jira tickets. Let's see what we've got. Infrastructure and backend tickets. Okay, great. So build notification storage and persistence layer, build notification service core logic, acceptance criteria, right? So I didn't even ask for a specific set of fields for the Jira tickets, which I might need to do, depending on the way the team works. But it's already going to type, a priority, an estimate of story points, a description, and acceptance criteria. So this is really, really solid. Okay, and that's all the back. Okay, here we go. Front-end mobile tickets, build in app notification center UI, build notification history, build notification preferences, implement real-time notification updates. Okay, we've got an iOS ticket, we've got an Android ticket. So we've gone from a very vague requirement document to a conversation back and forth with Claude not as our writing assistant, but as our thought partner, helping us to flesh out all the details that we're missing from the PRD. And I will link below to this whole chat so you can go ahead and see all of the details that Claude and I just went through as I'm scrolling past this quite quickly. And I will also make sure I link to that sample PRD that I started with so you can actually try to recreate some of this as well. All right, summary, 26 tickets, 1 epic. 1 epic and 25 implementation tickets. Roughly 200 story points, so it's giving it 2 to 3 week sprints. Got it 8 to 10 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, so 5 to 6 months, aligns with the Q2 target of starting soon. Okay, great. Critical path. So I didn't even ask for it, but it's giving me a critical path, which is always important because those are the ones I want to make sure don't get delayed because those will delay the overall timeline. And risks to flag. Are there any specific edge cases that we might have overlooked? Once again, I'm going to use Claude here as our thought partner. Okay, some edge cases that could cause problems. What if the user has no email address on file or has multiple email addresses? What if they delete their account? Right, so we're really pushing to all those unique edge cases. Mobile push, they have multiple devices. They uninstall without disabling notifications. The user changes preferences while notifications are queued. So we have issues around race conditions there. Notifications triggered for the user who just changed the setting. Same race conditions. Okay, so a lot of these, and the question is whether or not we deem any of these critical enough to add to the tickets or to the requirements. But one simple push and question around potential edge cases, and we are at 40. And not just 40, but recommendations of which ones we probably need to clarify. So in the interest of time, I'm not going to go ahead and keep doing that. What I am going to do, though, is then say what would be the next step, right? So the next step here would be to either manually create the tickets, pretty long and cumbersome. Another option would be to use the Jira Cloud API to integrate and automatically generate these tickets. And then finally, if you happen to be using an on-prem instance of Jira, as some companies are still using, that don't have access to any of the API functionality or any of the AI functionality, you can use the CSV batch loader for that. So just kind of in quick summary, we started with a very, very high level and basic PRD. We had a very, very rich back and forth with Claude in terms of fleshing out details and all the requirements. And in just a matter of a few minutes, we now have a full set of tickets to describe the development activities. Again, links below for you to be able to create this. And as always, break a pencil.